Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's Dory with Cauldron of Crafty Creation. And I totally realized after recording last night, actually, my friend came over after I recorded my workout and I said something. I was like, well, but it's Friday and tomorrow's Saturday. And she goes, no, today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. I went, oh my gosh. I totally went live and saying Friday, got to get down on Friday, and thought it was Friday. Because when you wake up at 4 a.m. and you're up until midnight-ish, you feel like you go through more than one day in one day. You feel like you go through more like 4 or 5 days in one day. It's been, this week has been expensive. So much exciting stuff going on. And today, oh my gosh, like I so want to tell you, but I'm going to wait and not tell you yet. And it's really, really hard. My mom used to get really annoyed because whenever I'd buy her a gift, I'd be like, open it now, open it now. She's like, no, I'm going to wait until my birthday or Christmas. I'm like, but it's so cool. I don't want to keep it a secret. Open it now. And so this is like that. So I was on my grief counseling call and I was talking about my mom. And this idea came and like I said something and Dusty, my grief counselor, said something. And I was just like, that's it. And so then I was telling my aunt about it. And she's like, oh my gosh, Dory, this is it. And I was like, I know, this is it. And I looked down and there was a feather on my kitchen floor. Seriously, feather on my kitchen floor, little tiny, like about an inch long. And I was like, and she goes, what color is it? And I said, it's gray and the tip looks kind of brown. And so after we got off the call, I went and grabbed a piece of tape and I picked it up with Scotch tape. And then I turned around to put it on my craft table and to put it on a piece of paper to save it. And right on top, of course, was a piece of sheet music for a song that my mom loved to sing. And I was like, okay, there could not be any more clear signal that this was a sign from her. And when after looking at the feather while it's on the paper, the tip looks more red than brown. And my mom's favorite color was red. So just like, anyway, so super exciting and have to kind of figure out some details before I announce, or I'm going to figure out some details before I go live and announce it and share what I'm going to be doing, but I'm really excited. Just a little excited, just a little bit. So yeah. And as you can see, I'm bouncing off the walls at 9:15 when I've been up since 4. Woo-hoo! Ready to launch into orbit. Oh, it's been such a good day. So that happened. And what else happened? I don't know. There's been other good stuff, like lots of good stuff. And I made a cauldron of my bean soup, and it is so delicious and it's super healthy. So that's awesome. And I had promised myself that I was going to put it into jars to put it into the refrigerator tonight. And I'm pretty sure it's the whole pot's going in the fridge instead. Because, yeah, it's been a very long and exciting day. And I did a video working on my niece's journal for her birthday. And that was fun. And worked on stuff for my full moon circle on Sunday, which if you're not registered yet, it's $0. Fun for the whole family. It's going to be amazing. Drop a full moon in the comments and I will get you a link to register. It's going to be awesome. Fun and healing and just, yeah, magical. So if you're interested, if you're not registered yet, and if you can't make it, so it's Sunday, February 25th. At 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is, like I said, $0. There will be stuff for kids of all ages. And I was going to share something else. I have my first founding member has registered in my Moon Magic and Manifestation portal. Hello, beautiful Mary. How are you? Mwah, thanks for watching. So I am also doing, for those who have registered for my Moon Magic and Manifestation portal, by 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, February 25th, they will be invited to a pre-party for the VIPs from 4:30 to 5 or 6:30 to 7 Eastern. So if you are not registered yet, drop full moon in the comments so I can get you the link to register. If you want more information about the Moon Magic and Manifestation portal, it's only $22 a month, you guys. Or you can say, that's if you pay monthly. And if you want to save 25%, it's $99 billed every 6 months. So and there'll be stuff for the full moons and the new moons and building community together. And I'm really excited to get started. My first subscriber, of course, her name is Luna, which is the Spanish word for moon, which is why we say the lunar cycle, because it comes from, the same root and da 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 da. So anyway, very excited for the full moon circle on Sunday. I actually attended a really wonderful full moon circle today with Safriana Luna, and that was amazing. And set some intentions for myself for the next lunar cycle, the next 2 weeks until we get to the new moon, and kind of sinking into that healing from Virgo. And are you registered yet, Miss Mary? I hope you're coming. So yeah, let me know, full moon, in the comments if you want the link to register for the full moon circle, portal in the event, in the comments if you want to know more about the if you want links for the portal. And it's so new that I have payment links, but I don't have the whole email stuff set up or the welcome form or those sorts of things, but they're coming. And like I said, if you have registered with either your first month or your first 6-month payment by 4 p.m. on Sunday, you will be welcome to attend the VIP pre-party for the full moon circle on Sunday evening. So that's going to be fun. And I've been doing some work on that. And and I have just so much exciting stuff going on right now. I'm just like, and yes, for anyone who's going, ooh, do we need to be concerned? Is Dory maybe going into another hypomanic phase? Dory has recognized that is a possibility. She is watching. And in fact, that makes me think, yes, I will definitely take the rescue med that pulls me out of hypomania and make sure I don't go into full mania, because it has been several nights of not getting very much sleep. And that's one indication. And I hadn't been doing the racing talking until today. And now that I am, I'm like, yep, okay. So yes, we'll be taking that rescue med. I'm not doing any of the other behaviors that are concerning, like spending money I don't have, or, other things that are that I need to go, whoa, hold on, wait, so it's not in danger zone or any of that stuff, but definitely need to get some better rest and sleep. So, but as I have learned to do when I have my bipolar highs and lows, when the energy is here, I embrace it and get as much done as I can, while also being sure to focus on self-care. And so that when the energy runs out and I need more rest, I have a little bit more flexibility to be able to do that. So, yeah, so we'll do that. I had some issues with the program that I go through for tutoring, and they've removed a couple of my students for either because of their error or because I don't know why and have not notified me why. And so I'm trying to figure that out. And I was like, oh, so that opened up time in my day to work on this, but it also took away from income that I was counting on. So, but it'll work out. It's all gonna be okay. I'm just trusting and having faith that this is happening for me, and definitely working on figuring that out. But kind of opened up my weekend, which was opened up today and tomorrow. I no longer have any students on Sunday. And I'm going to try to keep it that way, that Sunday is my day for me and spiritual events and things for my personal business as opposed to tutoring. So that's the plan. And yeah, so it's been a very good day. And yesterday was a very good day. I'm very, very grateful for this. More of this, please. And thank you, universe. Show me how good it can get. How does life get better than this? So, yeah. And what else do I have to talk about? I don't know. Oh, so I had the maintenance guy come in and fix a couple of things for me, and my thermostat quit working. And they're like, well, does it need batteries? And I was like, nope, done that. It's been started going through batteries very quickly. And this time when I replaced the batteries, it didn't fix it and I wasn't able to adjust my temperature. And so now it's stuck. So please and thank you, come and fix it. And so he did. And while I was here, I was like, so I have a little favor to ask you. Would you be willing to move my heavy sewing machine for me? And he's like, oh, I will, even though I'm old and decrepit. And I was like, you can't say no. I do have somebody else I can ask. And he's like, no, I'm joking. Is it that one? I was like, oh no, it's that one. And he was like, oh, that is an old heavy one. I'm like, yeah, it's a really cool antique sewing machine, but I've never been able to get it to work, which is unfortunate. And so I think it's time to sell it because I've had it fixed twice. And both times it came back to me and I wasn't ready to use it. And by the time I was ready to use it, it didn't work. And I tried learning how to fix it myself. And I did not feel like I have the patience to be the one to do that. And so I decided that there was somebody who had worked on it for me. And he said, if you ever decide to sell it, let me know. So I texted him with a picture of it. I was like, you still interested in buying it? I haven't heard back. So I guess I'll be posting it on Facebook Marketplace, but I need to find, it came with the full set of feet that go with it. And I need to find that because it's not with it. I think I know kind of the vicinity of where it is, but I need to go and like actually locate it so I can take pictures in order to list it. So we'll see. But anyway, I got that out of the way. So then I was able to I have one of those 3-tiered craft carts, and that was sitting on the top of it. And it was so heavy that I could barely roll the cart on the linoleum in my kitchen with that on it. So now that that's off it, I was able to pull that cart out and reorganize it to be useful for my journaling work while I'm crafting. And because I like to have stuff over to the right of me in front of the door. And it's much better to have it in this rolling thing than to have a stack of tubs that I then have to move to get out the back door and, take my garbage out. Because the last thing I need is another excuse not to take the garbage out. Okay, Mary. So you were labeled as bipolar 1 and never experienced those extreme highs. Yeah, I was really upset when I got the label, and the reason being because it was long story kind of short is that I was sent to a neuropsychiatrist by my school district to determine whether or not I could return to my classroom. And I had an extreme manic episode. And so I was removed from my classroom, put on administrative leave, and I had to go to this neuropsychiatrist and be evaluated before I could return to duty. And he was on the phone the entire time I was in his office. I so kicked myself for not being like, oh, I'm sorry. Why don't we reschedule for a time that you actually have time to focus on our appointment? And so he was on the phone the entire time. He took things that I had said and completely twisted them around and wrote them completely opposite in the report. And, I told him, like, I have been calling and calling and calling and trying to find a psychiatrist and trying to find a therapist. And everybody is 6 months to a year waiting list. And he goes, oh, well, try calling at this, this university hospital where I work. And I'm like, it's 3 hours from where I live and work. So that's really just not feasible for me to see a therapist or a psychiatrist that is 3 hours away from me. And that's in decent traffic. So then when I read his report, like, I had to go to the school district office to meet with my principal and people from the district office. And they handed me the report while I was waiting to meet with everybody. And I read through it, and he had put all of these different labels on me. And bipolar was the first time I had received a label of bipolar, and all of these other things, and twisted everything I said, and said that I should not be allowed to return to duty because I was not in regular treatment with a psychiatrist and a therapist. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, no. And so I was not fired, but I was not allowed to return to my classroom, and I was taken off of the paid administrative leave. And so that was devastating. Like, my entire world crashed around me. And I mean, at the time, I was in Houston. One of my best friends had cancer and was literally, it was a couple of months before she died. This happened in like March or April, and she ended up dying in August. And so she had been very distant for a while, and I didn't know why. And then I found out that her cancer had come back. And so that was why she hadn't been around. And then another one of my best friends was locked up in an immigration facility and fighting to not be deported, which he ended up being deported. So I didn't have that friend. And my other best friend, his wife had decided that I was a threat to their marriage. And so we could no longer be friends. And I absolutely have no interest in anybody else's husband or wife or no, I'm not interested, for one thing. For another thing, we were both single at the same time. And if something was going to happen, it could have happened then. I would not have taken action while he was in a relationship and had a child with somebody, and then a second child with somebody, and then got married, and all of those things, even though I didn't like the fact that she had trapped him into marriage by intentionally getting pregnant, not once, but twice. But that's a whole other, and I mean, one time I was really upset. And we were on the phone and we were talking, and he was like, well, hey, let's go out dancing on Friday. I said, no, Friday is Valentine's Day. I will babysit your children so that you can take your wife out on Valentine's Day, because there's no way you're taking me out on Valentine's Day. Which there had been other times that we had gone out dancing where he'd call me and be like, hey, so my wife says I'm driving her nuts and I should take you out dancing. You want to go? So, I was friends with him. I would go over there, I would watch their kids, I would try to be friendly to her, and she just didn't have any interest in interacting. And then all of a sudden she decides she's jealous. And I'm like, no. So anyway, so like totally lost my entire support system. The guy that I had dated off and on the whole time I was there was nowhere to be found, and, you know, not there for me while I was going through this either. And ultimately I was like, oh, it's time for me to move home to Montana. And that's what I did. And here, you know, I had my mom and other family and lots of friends. And, you know, now I have an incredibly strong support system here. And so, anyway, but just, and I mean, it was meant to happen because it brought me back to Montana where I needed to, and I needed to come home to Montana. So, ultimately it was for my highest good. However, it was incredibly painful at the time. And so when I came home, I went back to a doctor who I had seen before I moved to Texas, and even, yeah. And she sent a referral for a psychiatrist, and they requested records from multiple doctors in Texas. And it took like 6 to 8 months before we were able to get any records, and they wouldn't see me until they got records. And it was just like, I mean, all of these times that I was like in desperate need of a psychiatrist and doing everything I could to find a psychiatrist. And there's all this, you know, all these roadblocks in the way of it. And I was like, it's a good thing I'm not suicidal. I mean, you know, like, yeah, I have some pretty intense mental health issues. But anyway, so when I finally got in to see her, and I was upset about the, you know, the whole thing, and including the bipolar diagnosis. And she told me that if you've ever had a manic episode, you are considered, you know, then that they consider that to mean that you have bipolar disorder. And I've since recognized, like, okay, I do have that pattern. So yes, and I've spent the largest portion of my life on the more depressed end of that spectrum. And I also happen to be one of the very rare people who can take the SSRI antidepressants. And when I go off of those, that's when I go manic, which is very, very unusual. And so that was what happened when I was removed from my classroom, was that I had talked to my doctor and gone off of my meds in the way he recommended. But because I was just seeing a primary care doctor, we didn't know I had bipolar disorder, and I was not being closely monitored by a psychiatrist. I went super manic, and my mom's going, "What is wrong with my daughter?" So yeah, but anywho, lots of long stories tonight. Yes, as I said, I'm definitely a little bit of a chatterbox this evening. So I think it's time to, although I'm still enjoying the bouncing, so maybe I'll keep going a little bit longer here. Oh, for those of you watching, I have a full moon ceremony, Sacred Circle, coming up on Sunday. It is $0. We'll include something for kids of all ages, fun for the family. Dory will keep her potty mouth in check. And excuse me, if you would like the link to register for that, please drop a full moon in the comments, and I will get you the link so that you can join us. And it's going to be good. I actually attended a full moon circle, and this is for those of you who are like watching the replay and you're watching the entire thing. I apologize. I'm saying it again, but I see that there are new people watching who are not watching when I said it earlier. So, I attended a full moon circle today with Safriana Luna, and it was incredible, and set my intentions for the next 2 weeks of the lunar cycle. And so I look forward to guiding others to set their intentions and do some healing and embracing the sacred within. And so, and on that note, I am starting to yawn. So I am going to embrace the tiredness and get myself ready for bed so that I hopefully will get more sleep than just a few hours tonight. So, as always, I hope that you do something today that sets your soul on fire and brings you joy, and that you follow your bliss. Take care. I will see you next time. Love you.